Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hello, I'm Kevin.
And I'm John.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look back at some of our favorite action movies from the era of, kill me now, what are you waiting for?
Schwarzenegger, if you didn't get that, is the icon of the genre. And we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies, and we're breaking them all the way down.
What's up, John?
Kevin, what's up with you?
Oh, my God.
There's not a lot up.
I'm
here
feeling
with you.
great, dude.
Oh, we're feeling so good.
The beer is doing its job tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Drowning out the pain. And tasting fine.
Hello to all of our listeners, old listeners, new listeners. If you're out there, we love you more than our old listeners. No, we don't.
That's not true. That's impossible.
That's impossible. I'm going to axe all that. So, hey, what's up, listeners, old and new?
Hey, guys.
Welcome to the party, pals.
We are glad you're joining us again.
Yeah. We're going to talk some more about one of my favorite throwaway karate movies.
Throwaway. It's such high praise.
It's best of the best. It's got everything I'm looking for.
This is good night at the hotel viewing. You put it on as you're falling asleep, and you don't care that you fell asleep.
That's exactly how I feel, and I've fallen asleep to this movie countless nights.
It's comfort viewing.
Yeah, because I'm just like, it doesn't matter. It's completely disposable.
Yeah.
It's like, yep, it's here, and it's gone in the ether just as quick.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll try to catch us up on what's going on here.
Tell us everything.
Oh, my God. So, we've got Team USA is going to face Team Korea in a jiu-jitsu / taekwondo / judo karate
kickboxing
tournament, I guess.
Just brawling style.
Yeah.
Anything you can think of.
So there's a group of American sort of misfits, a bunch of sort of scraggly dudes, and then one really fucking badass dude named Tommy, who's like going to be the star of the team. You're going to take on Team Korea in I guess a few short weeks at this point. Team Korea has like been training in the snow under waterfalls. They're fucking locked in badasses. Right. There's a dude on the team named Daehan who wears an eye patch. He killed Tommy's brother.
What?
Say what now? So Tommy, of course,
he has to fight Tommy?
Of course.
Naturally.
Yeah, it's all very bizarre. That's like literally the whole plot.
Yeah, that's all.
That's it.
They've been training, and we learned that Tommy is haunted by his past because the guy he has to fight in the tournament is the guy that killed his brother.
Yeah.
And that's it. So, without further ado, I guess we'll get into the exciting...
It's a tale as old as time, Don.
Tale as old as time. Karate tournament. So we open...
Dead brother?
Yeah, I know. So we open at the Team USA dorm, where we see Travis answering the phone in the hallway.
Is their only line to the outside world a payphone in the hallway?
Yeah, man, it's 89.
No free calls?
Probably not.
That's fucking lame.
Anyway. Why I believe that because Couzo wouldn't want them talking on the phone.
That's true. You're supposed to sever all your outside attachments.
He probably told Jennings, like, where can we have not a phone plugged in except for a payphone? So Alex comes running by telling Travis, like, hey, man, we're going to be late. But Travis, like, stops him saying the call is for him. And he's like, do you want it? And Alex is like, yeah. And so Travis, like, chucks the phone at him and walks away like a total bastard.
Travis's attitude is not even improving slightly.
Not at all.
He's been a raging racist up until this point.
He hasn't learned a damn thing.
Yeah.
So Alex picks up the phone. It's his mom, who apparently has some bad news. We cut to Alex running down a long corridor, and he's now wearing his civvies.
It's strange to me that he went back to change clothes before going to talk to Coach.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's just odd to me. It is half-assed, like, My shirt's half buttoned. It's halfway tucked in.
Well, wasn't he wearing his dumb sweater again at this point?
No.
Okay.
He had like this.
Okay.
He had a shirt. It was weirdly half, but he had a belt on. I'm like, this costume.
1980s fashion.
Costume
Sort of awesome.
designer was getting like conspicuous with the way he was dressed.
Several times in this movie.
I remember because he wears this outfit for like the next 72 hours.
Several times in this movie, Eric Roberts has a sexy, like
off the shoulder
look. It's like, what's happening? And he's in great shape and he looks good, but it's like, okay, who's watching this movie? Movies for guys who like movies.
Your grandma was probably digging it. He wasn't buff enough for her.
I think he probably was. He was in rad shape. Well, he was at least with
but
some.
But he wasn't roided up.
No, he was not roided up like Van Damme and others. So anyway, when he enters the gym, Couzo immediately flies into a rage at the tardiness.
Baseball.
the cheek of it. Alex says, Couzo, I need to talk. Coach, I need to talk with you. Couzo leads him out of the gym. Alex tells him, hey, my son Walter got hit by a car while riding his bike and is badly hurt. And if you didn't see that in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
He's so small they didn't even see him. I don't know how he knows that, but maybe also, Grandma must have told him.
Yeah, I guess so. Or the driver told Grandma, I never saw him.
He's so damn small.
So Couzo says unsympathetically, I'm sorry to hear that. He's like, nah, I don't believe you at all. I'm sorry to hear that, Ray.
You think he thinks he's lying, or he's just like doesn't give a fuck?
I think it's like disingenuous. It's like,
okay.
I think that Couzo's
a fucking psychopath.
Couzo's so focused. He's so psychotic about what he's doing, about his job, that I honestly think that in that moment, if he said, my son died, I need to go to the funeral, he'd have been like, bullshit.
We all have our priorities.
Right. So Alex says, I've got to go home to see Walter, but I'll be back as soon as I can. Couzo denies, he belays that request, telling him the deal was, I've got you for 3 months with no distractions, no exceptions. My kid might lose his leg. We all have our priorities. What? Are you telling me if I leave, I can't come back?
Yes, that fucking Couzo is insane right now.
Yeah, and this is where Eric Roberts loses me. It's like scene chewing over the top. It's like a truck.
What the hell is wrong with you?
What? Yeah, it's like so. Couzo clears up any ambiguity, saying that if Alex leaves training right now, he's not going to be allowed to return. Put yourself in my place. I'm not in your place. We leave for Korea in 3 days. It's your choice. Alex says there is no choice.
There is no choice. He's dead ass right, but he's right, of course.
Yeah, no, he totally is. I did not care for Eric Roberts acting in this scene.
What about his delivery of the line, I'm out of here.
I'm out. And this is where that sexy off the shoulder thing was happening. I also was, maybe I was into it. I was into it. It's fine.
You can add that I'm out of here. Add it to the list of my favorite
I'm out of here.
Cliche movie lines that appear all the time, but no one has ever said that in real life.
I'm out of here.
That's along with I'll see you in hell. No one's ever said that. And you're going down for this. No one's ever said that.
I think maybe, but not in that context. They probably
you're going down.
I think it was probably just a guy to his friend. He's like, man, you're probably going down for this.
I'll see you in hell.
I guess I'll see you in hell. It's probably a lot nicer, the context. Anyway.
But wait, here's my thing. What's Couzo's other option? We'll
bring
find
in
out. Somebody else who hasn't been training for the last 3 months?
We will find out in mere moments. We'll address this. Let's table that discussion.
But how would that be a better option?
Well, let's table that. Let's table that for a few moments, and we're going to come back to that. Because I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. The fact that it's only been these 5 guys and the trainers, and there haven't been a group of alternates right there with them training is completely asinine and unbelievable.
Okay, so you're right. Well, but there's better opportunities.
For sane people like you and me, that's table stakes. It's not what anyone else, they're like, we can't afford a single other actor in this scene. We paid for these 5 buff trainers. So anyway, we cut to Alex in the dorm throwing his clothes into a duffel bag. Tommy comes running in. How is Tommy allowed to leave the gym? Are they on a break?
That's a fucking great question.
So anyway,
yeah,
Tommy
it must be
comes
lunch
in.
break or piss break.
Yeah, so
Take 5.
Tommy comes running in. It's like, what's going on? Alex says his kid was hurt and he's got to go. Tommy's like, hey, man, don't worry about training. We'll be here waiting for you when you get back, which is Tommy's the best. We love Tommy.
Yeah, I love Tommy. He's a good friend.
So Alex is like, that's probably not the way it's going to go down because Couzo says, I'm not going to be allowed back. Tommy's like, look, you just go get your shit right, get your ass back here when you can, and we'll deal with Couzo then. Alex thanks Tommy. Tommy hands him his big-ass Team USA Letterman's jacket.
Adidas, like, yeah.
And Alex, like, bolts out of there with, and so we cut to...
God forbid he went without that jacket.
I know. Well, it's cold
weird.
in Portland, I guess. Not really Pacific Northwest climate. I don't know. Taxi's pulling up at Portland Community Hospital.
Lots of palm trees on the skyline there for Portland.
How much did they spend on that sign? I don't know. So anyway, while Alex is running through the hospital, we hear a VO. It's the doc telling Alex that Walter's leg should be fine after 6 weeks in a cast. But the larger concern is that Walter's in a coma. Yeah, no shit. So while there appears to be no other complications, they don't know how long he's going to be out.
Right.
So Alex and his mom are shown into the hospital room, and Alex immediately loses it when he sees Walter lying there unconscious.
I know, like, doctor, but coma means like a head injury, right? Usually.
Right.
Like, the kid's head looked in pretty good shape.
Yeah, he wasn't bandaged up. There appeared to be no bleeding.
I would have imagined, like, it would have been...
Unless it was like a contusion on
intense
the brain
for
contusion.
the kid, but like the kid should have had like his head shaved and a big sort of like scar or stitches.
Right. You would have thought that there'd be a shunt or something, like something had been done. But anyway, no, he just was unconscious, just out. That's all we know. So Alex leans over his unconscious son, telling him that he's here and he's
Daddy's here now.
Daddy's here now.
Yeah.
And all of this too is like it's too much. And he's like, don't leave me. I need you.
But I feel like that's like the residual pain from the loss of his wife.
Definitely. 100% agree. So after about 30 seconds of montage, which includes close-ups on ventilators and Alex and Grandma sitting vigil in Walter's room and lots of close-ups on hands being held, Walter just wakes up. God, thank you, Jesus.
They compressed like 30 minutes of Rocky 2 into about 2 minutes of screen time in this movie.
We just don't have time for this coma to last that long.
Alex is like still wearing the same shit.
It's later that afternoon.
I would have like at least had him changed into like a hospital sweatshirt or something. Like
just show me something, some proof that he's been there for longer than 4 hours.
I don't know why the way they handled it. I don't know why they didn't just stick with the leg. Like he's in surgery,
right?
You know, like, we'll let you know how it goes. Are we going to save his leg or not?
And then they wheel him out of surgery, and maybe he does lose the leg or something. But it was like,
we saved his leg, and you know he's coming out of his sedation or
would
whatever.
that not have been enough? He still would have been a good father, but instead it was a coma that lasted 15 minutes.
The world's shortest coma. You got the next flight back to Los Angeles.
Yeah, literally, he was like, oh, thank God, and left the room. Didn't even say hello. He's like, oh, thank God, Mom, you got this? And left. So, yeah, if you can believe it, it seems like everything's going to be all right. So, meanwhile, back at training camp, Don's measuring up Travis's kicking power, which is 57 miles an hour, 195 pounds of pressure. Do you remember what blood sport? Was it 80-something miles an hour was Frank Dukes's? Like, put up your dukes.
You're right. It was fastest punch with a knockout or
fastest kick, too. There was like 80-something.
I feel like it was approaching 100. It was
which
approaching
is insane.
100.
It's like so fast you couldn't see it.
I think of Drago like punching in Rocky 4, and I feel like he was like 2,000 pounds or something of pressure.
Fuck. So, yeah, Don says that Travis's results are pretty good.
We're finally seeing some of that modern technology that Wade was talking about like 3 months ago when she showed up.
Well, it took the developers, like the set designers and production artists, this long to figure out how to work a computer that lights up like that. That someone's Mr. Spell like just hooked up different. So in the background, we see Alex enter the gym. He says he wants to talk to Couzo, but Couzo tells him not to bother and that he's off the team.
Nothing to talk about. You made your choice.
You made your choice.
Couzo's out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to lose the rest of the team.
He's like, I don't care if we win or lose. I'm going to make a point, damn it. So Alex says he had to go and ask Couzo. He's like, do you want me to beg to be allowed back on the team? Couzo just starts to walk away. And Alex goes, hey, Frank. Couzo did not like this.
Nobody calls me by my name.
Yeah. He's like, you want me to beg? Okay, I will beg. I need this. This is the only thing I know I'm good at. Don't take this away from me, please.
He laid it all out there.
It was thick like Vegemite, just on Vegemite sandwich. It was salty. I didn't like it. Anyway,
no, it was bridged too far. It was too much.
It was too much, and like weird. Wide opening, like his jaw was coming just like over enunciation of things. I got nowhere else to go.
It was that exact type shit.
So Wade and the rest of the team are looking on in suspense. Couzo tells Don, this is getting back. Don, line up the alternate, whoever the fuck that is, and calls for Tommy to step up in the kicking test.
How is bringing in an alternate a better solution?
So an alternate is going to die, like actually die in competition.
Yeah.
Are we to assume that this person has been training anywhere near this group? There's no way they bring somebody in who hadn't been training with this group the whole time.
If Alex has been training for 3 months to fight Seijin Quan, and you want to bring in somebody off the street, like...
There's not like a minor league USA team down the street at a worse dorm.
And
like,
why are we talking today about lining up the alternate, not yesterday when he left?
The alternate should have been in the room. We should have gotten to know the alternates. The alternate should have had names. Get Smith in here. Smith, a character that was like... introduced in passing, would have taken nothing to anyway.
Even
line up the alternate, Ray.
Baseball. But as the movie progresses, they're at the airport and there's still not an alternate there. Like, there was never an alternate. This was always a bluff.
Yeah, or maybe Virgil killed him in the bathroom with his razor. Anyway, Alex is absolutely shattered by Couzo's irrational decision and walks out. Tommy reluctantly steps up and kicks the pad, which is now being held by Virgil.
Where are the trainers?
Yeah.
Where are those buff mullets?
Maybe this is part of the training. I don't know.
It's fucking
the result
weird,
of Tommy's kick is 53 miles an hour with 184 pounds of pressure. Couzo loses his mind and lays into Tommy for pulling punches. He tells him that holding back won't change a damn thing, which raises Wade's antenna. She's like, huh? He tells Tommy to do it again. Tommy begins to object because Couzo bellows, I said do it again.
Have we stopped to consider the fact that Couzo might actually be a terrible coach?
Sure.
Like, he's awful.
Yeah.
He might have gotten these guys into better shape, but has he made them better fighters? Has he made any one of these guys a better fighter than they were when they got there?
I don't know why all of a sudden I want to watch Hoosiers. What a great coach.
He's been
Gene Hackman was.
This dude's been nothing but abusive to these guys. I don't feel like he's teaching them any new techniques or anything.
No. So Tommy gets in a fighting stance and starts like...
He does a
I
thing
feel like he's
with
like glowing.
He does a thing with his feet.
Yeah, and
you can tell he's like
his feet like sort of pivot out, and you can tell that he's really like grounding himself.
Yeah,
and Virgil looks a little nervous. He also looks like super serious, like he's like zoned in. Virgil looks scared as shit. So Couzo screams, "Do it!" And Tommy delivers a kick so strong it breaks the meter and sends Virgil flying backward into the floor where he hits his head on the ground.
That was like some Drago level kicking power.
Yeah. All but Tommy crowd around the knocked out Virgil. Tommy looks distraught, like crumples to the floor. He flashes back to a memory. So, I mean, Tommy's like fully living in PTSD land.
For sure.
He flashes back to a memory of his mother, like holding his brother's lifeless body. Then he looks at the motionless body of Virgil, freaks out, and runs out of the gym. Wade calls out after him. Couzo's like, let him go.
Baseball.
Virgil comes around finally. And Travis asks if he knows where he is. It's like, on the floor.
Cool. So now you're down to 3 fighters and one of them's got a concussion.
A concussion. Cool.
Fucking
it's fine.
crazy.
So outside, it's Alex's turn to chase after Tommy, who, I guess Alex was just like walking slowly back to the dorm when he saw Tommy like run out of there.
There's a lot that Alex is up to here in the next few scenes.
Same.
That
I
are
feel
weird.
same. Yeah, we see Tommy getting on a motorcycle to leave.
We've reached the Kawasaki product placement portion of the film because he's on a motorcycle, and then in
there's
the
one in the background.
There's
Whose
another
bike is that?
Another beautiful brand new motorcycle.
I want to learn how to ride a motorcycle. So anyway, Tommy has the wherewithal to ask how Alex's son is. What a stand-up guy in that moment to be like, how's your son? Alex says he's going to be all right. Alex wants to know where Tommy's going. Tommy said, I'm quitting the team. Alex like, bullshit, and asks why. Tommy says he can't fight Dahan. He revs the engine, but Alex takes the key out of the ignition and demands to know more. Dahan killed my brother in a tournament just like this one.
I kind of was digging Philip Ree's performance in this scene.
Too.
He killed my brother in a tournament just I can't
like this
fight
one.
him.
Yeah. Why didn't you? He's like, why didn't you ever tell me this? It wasn't your problem. That's bullshit, man. Say something. Eric Roberts is doing that weird SH thing all through.
Say what you will about him, but the dude's in touch with his feelings.
He is, big time. He definitely is. So Tommy says the problem is that he actually wants to kill Dahan. Alex says, well, yeah, I guess kill him then. But Tommy's saying, like, I actually want to kill him. Like, for real. I'm not talking about figuratively. I actually want to kill him, and I'm afraid. This is not good dialogue, by the way. This writing is sort of terrible.
Yeah.
Like all of this back and forth. Like, well, yeah, kill the son of a bitch, and then he's like, but I'm afraid, and like you can't. It's like no, what they don't. There's a misunderstanding.
They're in a
anyway.
loop. They're stuck in a loop.
Yeah, but Alex tells him if you don't deal with this right now, you never will. And then you'll shove it deep inside like I did. And Alex reveals that when his wife died, he took all the pain and packed it inside, and that was wrong. And now he's telling Tommy he's wrong because his brother's gone. There's nothing you can do about it. And he's like, you need this fight bad. You need this fight for you, man. This is your chance. Don't blow it. That's all I've got to say. Except you're an asshole if you leave. And like hands him back his keys.
He was bringing that widower wisdom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But he raises good points, I think. Like, win or lose, this is Tommy's opportunity to literally face those ghosts.
Yeah, totally.
And just be done with that, right?
Absolutely.
And we should note, Tommy cranks the bike and speeds off like fucking Maverick out of Top Gun.
Yeah, same thing.
But it's either dawn or dusk right now. This is where the timeline of the movie gets really weird to me.
Right.
I'm gonna guess it's first thing in the morning.
I would have thought the same thing that
like they were just getting started.
Alex took a red eye.
Okay, because the timeline gets really funky here in the next few scenes. Like maybe they just slapped the scenes together in any old order they felt like.
Well, that's absolutely true. Regardless.
Okay, we'll revisit it as we go because I'm curious. Yeah. So we're gonna take it. What is it like? 2 days, 3 days until the flight? Until they were supposed to be on their way to Korea, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is like the morning of day one or something.
Yeah,
some
exactly.
type shit. Okay.
So later on, Don comes into Couzo's office where he finds Wade snooping around in some files. She confronts him. She's like, I want to know what it is that's being kept from me, especially like about Tommy. Like, what do I not know about Tommy? Don's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
She's picked up on Tommy and Couzo's back and forth.
Yeah, there's some trauma.
That there's some type shit going on.
And Don's like, I don't know what you're talking about. She says there are 2 pages missing from Tommy's file, but Don says, I can't talk about it and tells her she needs to get out of the office before they both get in trouble. She says she ain't going anywhere until they get some answers. So Don reluctantly goes into the file cabinet and produces a videotape, which he gives to Wade.
And she's
that.
Like, you did not get this from me.
Multiple. You're like, you didn't get this from me. She like walks out. He's like, fuck.
I dig that dude. His name was Tom Everett, the actor who played Don.
Yeah, he was great. He really was. Like, an awesome performance.
The other day, I put on this kick. I put on Dances with Wolves, and first fucking scene of the movie, almost I was like, "Hey, it's fucking Don!"
Oh shit, he was the guy that's like in the trenches with him before he goes right off
when he's about to like try to get himself
his
killed.
Suicide run.
Yeah,
that's the soldier.
He was like, "Watch out, these guys are crack shooters."
Oh damn!
Yeah,
he was awesome. Yes, that's a memorable performance too.
Yeah, I thought the guy's just a fucking great actor.
Man, wow, good.
He just didn't have like the leading man looks, I guess, but he's a fucking
he's a little guy,
actor.
Guy, but great actor. So we cut to a brief soul-searching montage, which is essentially just a lot of shots of Tommy moodily riding around California on his motorcycle.
Fucking beautiful country, man.
We needed, yeah, I agree, big time. But we needed something. We needed Tommy looking off a cliff at the sea, or Tommy looking at the ocean off the back of a semi,
or seeing Chong Li's reflection in the bus window.
We needed something else, but we didn't get it.
Doing splits on the altar on the in Hong Kong.
We needed something. Anyway, meanwhile, back at the training complex,
the song that was playing during that was so terrible.
It sucked.
It was like the lyrics were like those lyrics that are describing what you're seeing. You're all alone type shit, you know. Daehan killed your brother.
You're riding a motorbike.
The song was called Enemy by David Steele and Sue Leonard.
You're your own worst enemy.
Steele was in the band Fine Young Cannibals.
She drives me crazy.
Fucking fake ass, like NXS type shit.
I love their two hits were bangers.
I don't think he was the bassist. I don't think he was the singer in that band. But yeah.
Where have you gone? Good. Anyway,
it's awesome though.
That's all right. That's very interesting.
The song sucked, but kudos to Fine Young Cannibals. They had a couple of good hits.
Me crazy. Anyway, meanwhile, back at the training camp, Wade confronts Couzo and says, "I've seen the videotape."
Now it's either dawn or dusk. I'm feeling like it's dusk of the same day.
Agreed.
So it's the end of the day now.
Yeah.
She's watched the tape.
Tommy's been riding around
all
for some
day long.
hours.
He's been cruising. Okay.
Agreed. Yeah, she wants to know how Couzo can consider putting Tommy in the ring with the guy that killed his brother. Couzo says, frankly, Tommy's the only one on the team that can beat Daehan.
Yeah.
Which, okay. Couzo, Wade's like, so it's only about winning then, is that it? Win at any cost, right, coach? Couzo tells her to back off and then he doesn't have to listen to this. But she's like, oh, you definitely do have to listen to this. And that if you pull any more shit like this, I'm going to personally kick your ass from here to Korea.
Good for her, man. Someone needs to stand up to this dude.
Yeah. She asks Couzo if he ever considered what might happen if he actually cared about the guys as much as he cares about winning. Couzo says it's not about winning.
This is where it's weird. That flies in the face of everything he said up until now.
Yeah, unless it's just like winning. A private motive, but he just talks big game to psych the team up. But he says if the team does its best and loses, he'll still be proud of them. But if they're not prepared to give their all, and if he doesn't give them his all, then that's his failure and his disgrace.
I feel like there's some logic to that.
There is some logic, but again, like you're saying, it's inconsistent with the Couzo doctrine to this point. And then he says, that's exactly what happened to Tommy's brother. What does he mean? And so it's time for a big reveal. Couzo says he was the coach of the team David was on when he died. And he's carried the burden of that death with him for 15 years. He says the team didn't know what they were getting into, but he did. They didn't take it seriously, and he didn't know enough at that point that he needed to drive them to a breaking point to where they actually hated him. That Tommy's brother died because I failed. He was not prepared, and I would never let that happen again, ever.
I feel like James Earl Jones had like flipped it into Oscar mode for this scene. Oh man,
the way he delivers those lines is like, it's a veteran like genius performer.
I do feel like you can prepare the guys without like abusing them though. There's a middle ground, right?
Yeah, but again, it's like who knows how you react in a situation like that, like what kind of mentor you become. You're shaped by your own experience.
Yeah.
So anyway, later on back in the gym, Virgil, Travis, and Sonny approach Couzo and say they need to talk to him. Sonny can't quite find his words.
See, what time of now? What is it? Now is it the next
I think it's
day?
the next morning.
I thought that, but Couzo's sort of dressed the same, but also it appears to be lighter outside now than it was in the previous scene.
Yeah, I don't think it my grandpa wore the same clothes 2 or 3 days in a row, so it's fine.
Okay.
I don't think Couzo's worried about it.
It's either later that night or first thing the next morning, I guess.
Yeah, that's my vibe too. So Sonny can't quite find his words, but Travis pops right in and says, "We hope you'll change your mind about Alex." And he's like, "Since when did you give a rat's ass about anybody but you, Ray?"
I like that. Like, it's fucking whatever. Travis finding his voice, I guess.
Yeah. But
he is
also,
a
he's
leader,
like,
I think, in some ways.
he's like, this is evidence of, at least it's evidence of something that Couzo's trying to impart to the team, that they're caring about each other.
As Ebert says, like, Travis underwent a change of heart off screen.
and that's also true. Yeah, so Travis says, "I cared, since now." So Couzo looks surprised, and they tell him, "Coach, we need Alex, and we need Tommy to win."
I thought it was like a really good performance from Chris Penn, this particular scene.
Chris Penn is a good actor.
Yeah.
And I hate that most of his career he was maybe fucked up a little bit and kind of got relegated to roles like that. But the guy had on-screen presence.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe good actor is a stretch, but he had good presence and he had good instincts. So Couzo asks the guys if that's all. They say yes, and he tells them the plane leaves at 8 p.m. tomorrow.
So
and then he goes
what
back
do
to
we
doing
think?
what else he
It's
was
either
doing.
night or more. I don't know what time it is. I'm gonna say that I think it's the tail
Midday.
end.
I think it's
the tail end of the day that Tommy left is what I think.
It's either the tail end or early the next morning.
Or the next
and
day.
they're all like supposed to be like packed up and like ready to head out, and they've got a free day that day to like focus or whatever. So apparently dismissed, the guys walk away. Couzo under his breath says, "I'll be damned."
He's like, in spite of all my terrible coaching, they've actually come together as
These
a team.
guys have learned a lesson. So we cut to Alex has not left. He's squatting in the dorms.
That's why I feel like now it's definitely the next morning.
Why hasn't he left? He was
Right?
dismissed.
Wouldn't he be on a rush to see his son?
He would have been escorted off the premises, one would think.
He's just in there taking a shave.
He's been in there he's like, well, flight. Maybe he couldn't afford a flight.
No, he got kicked off the team like yesterday morning.
That's what I'm saying.
He's still there.
That's what I'm saying. It's like maybe he couldn't afford a flight. Maybe he's waiting for the Greyhound. He bought a Greyhound ticket for the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm serious.
Yeah,
he couldn't afford it. And it's like his mom was like, "I can only afford to put you on a Greyhound tomorrow morning." And
he might have just thought no one's going to know I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because Tommy's still staying there, so the room's still open.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. No one's checking in on him. So anyway, Alex is shaving in the dorm when there's a knock on the door. It's Coach Couzo asking if he can come in. I'm surprised he even asked.
What's going to happen?
I know there's an immediate cut to Couzo entering the gym with Jennings fast in tow. Couzo is shouting Jennings down. "Mr. Jennings, if you're going to fire me, then damn it, fire me."
What is happening?
I'm so confused. Jennings, watching this, I was like, what the fuck? That cut was instantaneous. There wasn't even a beat from him being in the room. Like, he didn't walk in the door, and then he was walking in the gym door.
It's like, what is this theater that's happening? I feel like we're supposed to...
So Jennings says, "Well, no one's trying to fire you yet." And then, like, the team is all watching, confused as we are by whatever's happening. And Couzo says, "As long as I'm coach, then I'm going to make the decisions about the team as I see fit." Just then, a door swings open, and in walks Alex, decked out in his team gear and carrying his duffel bag. So my thought is
and that includes keeping Alex on the team.
So they're like, and the shitty synth orchestra swells, although like heart-wrenching music is terrible. But like, my feeling is that like Jennings had been like licking his chops trying to get Alex kicked off the team because he didn't think he could.
So you think that's what got me is like, were we to believe that Jennings is mad that he's bringing Alex back?
Correct.
Even though there's no alternate to be seen anywhere.
There are alternates.
But we just never see them.
Correct.
Like, shouldn't they be on the premises?
They're being kept in a tractor trailer in a cryogenic sleep. They're iced down.
They're ready to be thawed out.
Yeah, exactly. Like Terminators.
Oh my
so yeah,
God.
that's the thing is like Jennings is disappointed that Couzo is going to go with Alex.
So in my mind, it was like they're arguing about nothing, or they're arguing like this team's falling apart, and he's like, "Well, I don't know if they're arguing about.
Maybe that too.
It would make more sense if he was mad that he had run Tommy off because Tommy's obviously the star.
Right.
But
like they have no chance.
I feel like this scene was just meant. It was meant to be a misdirect.
I completely
like
agree.
misleading us, the audience. Also, everyone's standing around with their luggage, so I guess it's like the afternoon and they're about to head down to the airport or whatever, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they're getting ready to go that night.
Yeah.
So elsewhere, we cut to Tommy has been driving for 24 hours, riding his bike for 24 hours on his motorcycle.
It's either dawn or dusk again. It would have to be.
I think it's like early evening.
Yeah.
This is the time when you could roll up to the airport, throw the keys to your vehicle to an attendant, run in and catch your flight.
Well, what's interesting is, okay,
like a truck.
There's a sign that he drives past. It says 214 miles away from Los Angeles.
Well, he believes in Jesus.
What has me thinking, like, first of all, I looked up, like, that's about how far away Fresno is. So I'm thinking, okay, he's worked his way back home or whatever. But if it's almost dark and it's winter time, that's what? I don't know. It's like maybe 6 o'clock-ish and the flight's at 8. And he's got 200 miles to go in 2 hours, like 100 miles an hour.
He's really good at karate.
He is flying on that motorcycle.
He can because of karate. So he pulls into a full-service gas station, which I love. A relic of another time. Love that. Dude comes out to start filling up his bike. While he's sitting there, Tommy sees two brothers with ice cream cones getting into a badass wood panel station wagon.
Both kids with sweaters tied around their waist, which I thought was a choice by the costume designer.
And socks pulled all the way up. The smaller of the two brothers drops his ice cream cone on the asphalt and gets the saddest look that any child has ever had.
The ice cream motif has come full circle.
That's right. The big brother, though, gives the little guy his ice cream cone. And this is all weirdly in slow-mo.
Strong move from the big brother. Strong big brother move.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'd have been like,
I don't think any kid's ever given up their ice cream cone.
Like, you can have a few licks, but I'm going to need it all back after.
Also, there was two other random kids in the back.
Who are the kids in the back? The other brothers?
Ones who didn't. And I'm like, it would make more sense if this was morning, like early morning. But who's giving their kids ice cream?
In the morning?
In the first thing, waking and
I don't know. These are spoiled white kids if they complain enough. So, cool gas station, though.
Oh, dude, I love that.
Tommy gives this whole scenario a lot of thought. And a smile comes to his face. We cut to LAX, we guess. Don's handing out plane tickets. Virgil, we see, returns from the bathroom having shaved his chin-strap beard, thank God.
Where's the alternate? He's not there ready to get on this flight.
And maybe he's going to meet them in Korea. That's the only thing that I can think. He's going to meet them there.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway.
It could be that he's flying out of New York or somewhere
Yeah, that's
else.
what I'm saying. It's like,
yeah, okay.
So anyway, Virgil says, shaving this hair off will make me faster. Travis tentatively agrees.
Why did we even have this moment? For a half a laugh?
I think maybe he probably had an audition and had to shave his beard and they had to explain it.
Because I guess he doesn't have the beard in the tournament?
Correct.
Okay, whatever it is. Yeah,
Right.
It's all good.
So suddenly, up comes Tommy. He starts to explain himself to Couzo, but Coach cuts him off, saying, "No apologies offered or accepted. Welcome back, Ray." Tommy and the rest of the team are pumped. Tommy's like whooping and hollering. He greets the team one by one, starting with Virgil, who he wants to make sure is okay after he kicked the shit out of him earlier. Virgil's like, "I'm fine. You kick hard."
Yeah.
Alex gives Tommy his Team USA jacket, mirroring the scene earlier.
Yep.
Tommy,
and now he's like, I owe you. No, I think you're even.
Yeah, I think that's even now.
Yeah.
No one owes anyone anything. He finishes his greetings with Travis and extends his hand for a handshake. When Travis goes to shake his hand, Tommy pulls the hand back and punks him, but then they high five.
Racial wounds are healed.
To the swells of synthesized bullshit. We cut to a shot of a big-ass United Airlines plane lifting up, and then immediately B-roll of Seoul, Korea.
Yes.
That flight was 2 seconds. Over at Jamsil Arena, fans are queuing up to enter. Ahmad Rashad is anchoring the TV coverage of the invitational event for English-speaking audiences, which
Alicia
I love.
Rashad's hubby.
Yeah. We see both teams preparing for competition. The Korean coach is pumping his team up with a pep talk and would have loved some subtitles for context, but I'm sure it was inspiring.
The Korean coach was played by like a Taekwondo legend.
Really?
Yeah, Master Hee Il Choi.
That's
but
badass.
Is like in the Taekwondo world, he's like the man, or was the man.
I would love to go back and see if we can find some YouTube footage of him
like whipping asses.
Yeah, that'd be badass.
Yeah, dude.
So, so then we see Couzo addressing his team. He tells them they've worked hard and grown as athletes and individuals. You've learned a lot, and that the teacher also learns from his students, something that he sort of, I guess, attributes to Wade. He then tells them they have a chance to be the best martial artists in the world, or at least in either the U.S. or South Korea.
Sure.
And he tells them that if they give everything they've got with all their heart, they'll be winners. You can be the best of the best. And while it is late in the movie,
yeah, that's your permission.
We can all go home now.
That's your permission. If you want to walk out, you can walk out right now.
And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the exciting 4th chapter. That brings us up right to the edge of the abyss, if you will.
I'm stoked to see how it ends.
I literally, as of a few hours ago, had no idea how this was going to go down.
Okay, that's
so
awesome.
I'm excited to talk about it.
That's so rad.
Are you guys excited? I can't hear you, Ray.
Baseball.
Fuck. We hope you guys are excited. We're looking forward to talking with you about this next episode next time, and
we'll be back.